verse 12. Look at verse 12. Let no one despise your youth, but be an example. In the old King James language, the word here is ensample. Ensample. I love that word, ensample. What it really means, see, we use the word example and we think that we're supposed to be living an example. But the word ensample comes from a Greek word that actually has the idea of sampling the goods. It's sort of like this. At my house, when we prepare for a meal for people to come over and I'm cooking, while I'm cooking throughout the day, I'm sampling what I'm eating. Whatever I've cut up, I've taken a few bites of it. Whatever I cook, when I'm grilling, I always sample some of it. So here when it says, I don't despise your youth, but be an ensample of the believers. People are supposed to be able to come by us, Mr. Lincoln, and sample us.
but I want to live in the place of my promise. I don't want to pass through there. Sometimes as believers we get things backwards. And we pass through our promises and become content living in our wilderness. This is not God's will for us. Chapter 1, he reminds them of the promises he gave. He reminds them of a Canaan in the first chapter that he had promised to them. He reminds them that there is a place that he has set aside that is for his people, and that they could possess what he said they could. And then he reminds them how God provided for them, how God made the way, how when they got to a place where they didn't know what they were going to do, God didn't show up, he was already present. How when they felt lost, he'd give them a sign to look up to and say, God is still with us. How many times have we gone through things in our journey or through our wilderness where God just showed up just to remind you, just gave you a little reminder that, hey, I'm still here. I made you a promise. I promised you I wasn't going to leave you. I promised you I wasn't going to forsake you. I told you in my word I'd be with you always, even until the end. He's always shown up to validate what he said. He's always shown up to make good on his word.